Good morning, everybody. It's Pastor John with another edition of Monday Morning Quarterback. So yesterday we began a new sermon series called Tough Times, and the series is about what it sounds like. It's about walking the walk of faith during tough times. And the first thing that we talked about yesterday was that it's important that we all have a home base, okay? And home, don't think of home as a place. Think of home as that experience of connecting with Christ. So we all have to have that place where we connect with the love of God through Jesus Christ. That can be our church home. That can be our family home. That can be our friends' home. It can be a variety of things. It doesn't have to be the same thing for everybody, but we must have that. And the reason we have to have that, because as I said during the sermon, during tough times, when we feel unmoored, we feel a bit adrift, having that home just as a place of solid, as a place of foundation is important. That's one of the ways that we navigate difficult times. Now, for many people, this is what I really didn't have a lot of time to talk about during the sermon, but for many people, our home of origin isn't necessarily a happy place. It's not a place where, we feel that love, we experience that love, And the whole purpose of the sermon was to recognize that whatever our experience of home is in our lives, we have a home in Christ. But what does that really look like? That's a beautiful sentiment. But what does that really look like? Well, one of my favorite shows of all time is The Big Bang Theory. I love that show. My wife will tell you that I know many of the episodes by heart. I still watch them in reruns and enjoy them. Even when I know the laugh line is coming, I'll say it with the character and then laugh out loud as I did the first time I heard it. But one of the things that I love about The Big Bang Theory is that virtually every character in that show came from a home where there's a level of dysfunction. There was always a level of love, but there was also a pretty level of dysfunction. Sheldon's family was, fraught with tension. His dad, cheated on his mom. Leonard's mom, used him more as a lab rat than as a child. Wallowitz's dad left his family. Amy's mom and dad were kind of wackadoodle. I mean, it's every family had their story. But what I loved about that was, even though these people went to Pasadena, to make their new life, they still made a home. But their new home was a home they chose. It was the home they made amongst these friends. And this friends group was always open. There were new people that came in. That was allowed. It was inclusive, but it was welcoming. Now, it still had levels of dysfunction, but ultimately, everyone was safe. Everyone knew that they had a home. So when they experienced tough times, they no longer had to think about going through them alone. Well, in my perfect world, that's how the church would be. The church would be like The Big Bang Theory. We wouldn't put on a show and try and, look better than we are. We would just be ourselves. We would be real, but we would be love to one another and to the community. Home, my friends, is not necessarily where you come from. Home is where you find the love of Christ. I hope this week that you have a good time and find your way home. God bless everyone.